Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we are coming at you with a really quick and easy hack. I'm going to do a fast sew. One of my favorite fast sews is the everyday tee. Super easy to sew, super quick. But somebody asked me this question and I wondered why not. They wanted to know if we could add sleeves to the everyday tee, and so that's what we're doing today. We're going to sew up the everyday tee, which is a super quick sew, and then we're going to add sleeves to it to make it a long sleeve tee. So let's get to it. All right, before I show you what I'm doing, I wanted to tell you that I get a lot of questions about how to hack patterns to each other. And one of the things about sleeves is the first thing you need to figure out is what kind of sleeve it is, what kind of shoulder, what kind of arm side it has. And then from that, you can figure out what sleeves you can add to it. So there's basically 3 different kinds of sleeves. I know there's more other kinds of sleeves, but these are the basic top 3. There's number 1 is a raglan style. A raglan style is the one that kind of cuts across like so. You could say like a baseball tee or something like that. It has more of a like triangle shape neckline right here, and then the sleeve is more triangle shape as well. Number 2, we have the Dolman style, which is the style that we're using for the everyday tee. If you can see right here, it's kind of like a drop shoulder. It kind of goes all the way over, so if you don't do anything to it, it just kind of comes across like sideways like this, so you don't really have to add a sleeve per se. It would just be a short sleeve, or you can make it like really wide like the High Hopes Dolman, and it'll be a longer sleeve, but it's just a wide sleeve, so you don't have to add a sleeve to it to be a shirt. That's a Dolman style, just kind of comes over across the shoulder. And then the third one is just a regular sleeve, a set-in sleeve, which is just a regular sleeve that you have on your tees. The shoulder comes off. You have a shoulder seam here, and then it's kind of like a, you kind of meet it in there, so it's like rounded sleeve shape. So you have to figure out first what kind of sleeve shape it has, and then from that you can trade in sleeves that have the same similar shape. You might have to make them a little bit bigger, you can hack them to look a little bit different, but that's where you start at. Now with the Dolman style sleeve, which is what we're working on today, it is a sleeve that, like I said, comes out, and so it just has a shape that is very like, it just comes right out and it rounds off at the side seam right here. So to add a sleeve to that, really all you're going to do is sew up a bottom piece to the sleeve. So your sleeve will already be like right here, short sleeve. So all you have to do is add a straight piece at the bottom. Now you could create your own pattern piece by kind of measuring here where the arm side, I guess, would be. You could call it that, but just like the bottom of the sleeve, and then adding the sleeve to the bottom of it. I would make it probably like 90%, so a tiny bit smaller so it fits in. You don't want it too small, but maybe even just like a 95. You don't want it smaller because you don't want it to like tighten it. I probably would just even go, I might just even go with the same size, so that way it's just adding on instead of bringing it in. You don't need to bring it in. Now another thing that you could do with this, which I've seen before and it is super adorable, you could make it wider and gather it so you have like a gathered blouse effect at the bottom of the sleeve. Now I'm not doing that today. Today I'm just going to do a straight sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I grab the sleeve from the twisted up top. The twisted up top is also a Dolman style. Like I said, you want to grab something that's similar, and that is the one that I was going to use. And as you can see, it kind of fits pretty evenly. It's just a little bit short, so I'm going to be adding just a little bit. I'm probably going to be adding a little bit to fit it. So let me, what I'm going to do is, so you all can kind of get a little bit of a, if she does it and it doesn't work out, then I can do it differently type of style. You all know that's how I like to teach you. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you exactly how it meets, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to add some width right here at the side. Now, if you wanted to make your own sleeve, then you could definitely do that, but you have to remember one side is going to be straight and the other one you kind of want it to taper in as you go so that it will fit nicely at your arm, because it's usually bigger, the sleeve is is usually bigger at the bicep and then it goes in a little bit. So that's why this one narrows down a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. Let me see. It narrows down about 1.5 inches is what it narrows down to. So let me bring you closer so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so what I'm going to do right here is on the side that, so this is the straight side right here, on the side that flips open. See how it goes like this? I'm going to add a little bit of width here so that it's still, because this is the size that fits me on this top. So it's still going to be snug here, not snug, but it's still going to be closing up here. But right here is where I want to kind of fit it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab another piece of paper and I'm going to put it right underneath here. Okay. Again, like I said, I'm going straight. I'm gonna do it straight. Now, if for some reason it ends up being that that it looks like, oh, it's too big or whatever, then you all can do it a little bit different. Now, listen, I'm going to need here, you will say, oh, what about the seam allowance? Because, you know, usually you want to have seam allowance to sew the sides together. Well, this is going to get sewn together as well. So the seam allowance is already in my pattern, so I don't have to worry about adding that. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to start where the arm finishes, and I'm going to just meet it down. So like so. Up to, so it meets up with my sleeve. And I want to make sure that I'm also marking here on this side because that's where my sleeve is. If I don't mark it, then I won't know where it is. So then that's what I'm going to add to my sleeve. So I'm going to cut at this one line right here, and I'm going to basically tape this onto my pattern. All right, so like I said, I'm just doing it the width of my shoulder here. I mean the width of the end of my sleeve right here, of my pattern piece. See that? Now they match up. Now what that means is once I sew this on, if I feel like I have bulk here and I don't like it and I should have done it smaller, then I'll let you know so you all can fix that up on when you do it and when I do it next time. Now another thing, like I said, would be really cute here would be to add like a half of what the sleeve width is, like another few inches here, and still taper it. Or leave it bigger and then gather here, and then you have like a, I don't know if you've seen those style tops that have the like a short sleeve and then you have a poofy sleeve here, which maybe I'll do that next time on another hack because I think it's gorgeous to do it that way too. All right, so now that I have my pattern piece completed, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my fabric just like I would for everything else, and I'm just going to add the sleeves. So I'm going to cut it up, start sewing it, and when it comes to the sleeves, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, if you don't have this pattern sleeve that twisted up and you're like, you know, I still want to make it, but I want to make my own sleeve, and you don't know how wide to make this bottom piece here, the easiest thing to do really is to grab another, it doesn't matter what sleeve, a long sleeve that fits you correctly at the wrist, and you say, you know, I like this, and use that to tell you how wide to do the bottom. That's what I like to do sometimes. I just use a different pattern. And then from that, make it, one side will go straight and make the other side even out to go all the way to fit the top of the sleeve. I hope that makes sense. So let me go ahead and cut it out. I'm using, this is a sweater knit. It's a very light sweater knit. It almost feels like a waffle, but I know it's not. This is from August Closet. It's super cute. So I'm going to be using this. It's lightweight enough that I can start wearing it here soon. And since this is a long sleeve, I kind of want to make it more for like a fall top. So I'm super excited about this. The seasons are going to start changing here soon. I'm already prepping for fall, okay? So I'm going to be, this is what I'm going to be using. So let me go ahead and cut it. I'm using the relaxed version, but I actually, so sometimes I make the relaxed medium, which is really oversized. This is the relaxed small, which is a little bit smaller, but I wanted to do it just a little bit smaller. I fit, my sizing is between a small and a medium, so I can kind of build both depending on what my measurement, what I want to go for, tighter or looser. So remember, just use the size that you're comfortable with. All right, so usually with a dolman style top, you would sew your shoulders, and with this everyday tee, then you would sew your sides together. So you would place the top right sides together, you would sew up here at the shoulder and the sides. But because we're adding sleeves, we're only going to sew the shoulders first. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up. Here's the shoulder, here's the sleeve area, and we're going to grab our sleeves that we created and we're going to place them right sides together to match up that shoulder, that seam area, that raw edge, I guess. And we're going to sew it right there. So we're essentially attaching that sleeve on. You know what I didn't account for? You might have a little bit of hanging out because of the fact that there is a seam allowance here on the shoulder where they match up. So you don't have to add a whole, you could leave like the seam allowance out. So you could have left a 1/4 inch on each side, which is the seam allowance, so a whole 1/2 inch at the edge. So I'm just gonna let it hang out and just cut it off as I'm going. So when you make your pattern piece, make it about a 1/4 inch shorter than your sleeve width, because to compensate for this seam allowance right here at the shoulder. That's the one thing I didn't think about. So see here, we're learning. Now, for dolman style with, well, not just dolman style, but the curved hem, see how this has a curved hem? I like to go ahead and hem first before I sew the sides together, because then it's easier to hem on the curve. It's easier to just hem this way than to have to hem once it's sewn on the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and hem the bottom and prep my neckband and my cuffs. I'm going to go ahead and do that as well at the same time. As I'm hemming, as I'm steaming, I like to kind of tug at the fabric so it'll roll with me as I go. After I make that memory crease for my neckband, I go ahead and fold it and right sides together at that short edge and sew it. And then for my cuffs, I fold it right sides together and sew that raw edge as well. Alrighty, now that we're done with those, we're gonna sew our sides together, and we're going to catch here at that inner seam right here where that sleeve was attached, and then make sure that your sides, your hem right here lines up. Then what we'll have to do at the end is just tuck in your serger tail right there. Now all we have left to do is our cuffs, our neckband, and tucking in our side tails, which what I'll do for that is, well actually, what I'll do for that is I'll grab it, my serger tail, fold it over that seam and top stitch like a zigzag stitch right there to stitch it in. And then you have this really nice curved hem. See how nice and even that is? Much better than having to do it after. I like that better. If you need help doing your neckbands or armbands, we do have a video called Bands, Bands, Bands that goes over exactly how I do my neckbands for them to turn out just right every time. Well, most every time. Okay friends, we are done. How cute did this turn out? I think the sleeves turned out perfect. I love it. I think I picked the correct size. Just relaxed enough that it is super cute, but it also has a great shape. This fabric turned out amazing with it. It's just very light and flowy, so it looks super cute. I am ready for fall. No, I'm not really ready for fall. I still want to have the rest of the summer, but my clothes are ready for fall. It's super cute. I love it. I know some of you who are subscribers are watching. You are already experienced it in the colder weather, so this comes in handy. I love this. I hope you love it as well. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't so you never miss any of our tutorials. Come share your makes with us over on our Facebook page and tag us on Instagram. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.